Did you have a 3-day weekend? All right. We are live. What's going on, everybody? Let me start the audio recording so I don't forget that part, because I always forget that part. All righty. We are here. All right, everybody. Welcome to... This is a live show. This is Coffee is for Closers. If you are an entrepreneur or in sales, this is a show for you where we talk everything sales related topics pretty much all the time, right? Every single week I'm here. I am Michelle, aka the Pitch Queen, and I hope everyone had a wonderful 3-day weekend. And today's topic that we're covering on Coffee is for Closers is how to deal with the uncertain clients, the ones that are always iffy. You know, maybe they say they want to work with you, but then they disappear. They do the disappearing act. Don't you love when that happens? It happens more often than, not, unfortunately, but it's just kind of the name of the game. And so we're going to be talking a lot about that. And for those of you that don't know what Coffee is for Closers is, that's a tongue twister. Let me just kind of give you a brief overview one more time if you're new. Hi, Etta. How are you? I hope all is well. If you guys are on Facebook and Instagram, on LinkedIn, feel free to share this with everybody. I do believe that entrepreneurs worldwide, this will definitely help you, or if you're a business owner or you have your own practice, aka in the CPA community that I work with, we call it a practice. So whatever you call your business, this is definitely helpful. And again, I'm Michelle and I'm the Pitch Queen. I came up with this name from my friend Sean Croxton. He helped me come up with it. And when I found out that every single social media platform and website was available, I took it. I said, I am going to be the Pitch Queen. What a great idea. So that is my name. I thought, well, maybe one day I'm actually going to get married and I won't have my last name. So then I didn't want to go through the name change. So that's a little bit of a history on my name. But I've had over 20 years of experience in sales, everything from working at Nordstrom to having my own boot camp back in the day when I was a fitness instructor to working in the mortgage business to teaching swim classes in people's backyards when I was in high school. And then in college, I was a cocktail waitress and pushing really expensive tequila shots. And over the years, I really learned what was a quality product, if you could say that. I definitely have learned that quality over quantity is definitely the best way to go as it relates to your businesses and sales. But that's ultimately your choice. So you can have a low-level product, or you can have a mid-range, or you can have a high-level. Look at it as in cars, right? You've got your luxury vehicles that are kind of like mid-price BMWs, Mercedes, and then you've got your like super fancy-duper cars like the Bentleys and Aston Martins, and then you've got, your general average kind of car, a Honda, or, my mom's got a Prius. So it's kind of whatever, you want. Obviously, the guys that are making the Aston Martins and the Bentleys, they don't have to make as many vehicles to equal the sales of someone who sells something of lesser value. So, that's just a little bit about me. I don't know how I got on a car tangent, but I did get on a car tangent. So today we are going to talk about how to deal with the uncertain clients. And that is really what we're talking about today right here on Coffee is for Closers. And today's signature recipe is a cup of wisdom. We're going to talk about some really big problems that exist. We're going to talk about signs that maybe you're actually going to lose a client. And then we're going to talk about ways to keep a client. And we're going to talk about different reminders, and then we're going to end it with energy for the soul. We have a visitor on the floor here today, you guys. This is pretty comical. I have to show you.
No.
Yeah! This is hilarious. Dominique, pop your head up and say hi. She's Sorry, a little, Just rolling around the office floor today here at the Pitch Queen Empire. Okay, back on topic, okay? So I want to get to the slides so you guys can see them. If you are on LinkedIn or Instagram, come on over to my Facebook page. There's a lot of great information in the slides that I provide. And if you do want the slides, feel free to type in show in the comments below and you'll get the slides, okay? So I am going to pop on over to my screen so you can see my screen. And here we go. Oop, that's not the screen I wanted. Okay, so again, this is Coffee is for Closers, and we are talking about the partial yeses. Those really annoying ones where you think you're going to work with a client and they're just uncertain. Uncertain in all forms, like, well, I'm going to call you later, and then you never hear from them. Or, you know what? Something came up and I'm not going to be home until after 6. Can we talk after 6? And then you never hear from them. I would love to know if that's ever happened to you. Has it happened? Put in the comments below. I would love to know if you've ever dealt with this uncertain client situation. But we're going to go over how and what you can do to really prevent this from happening. I do believe there's a prevention approach. This happens to you all the time? Yeah. There's a way that you can make it happen less often. So if the uncertain client syndrome has gotten to you and it's becoming super annoying, I totally get it, and hopefully some of what we're going to cover today will help you with that. I actually dealt with the uncertain client syndrome yesterday, to be exact. So I know this happens to me, and it's got to happen to other people. I know I'm not just alone in this. And really, there's one major thing that I want you to take away from this today, and it's really coming to terms with yourself on this and not getting attached to the outcome. And I know we've discussed this a lot in the past, but really not getting attached to the outcome will help you succeed with the uncertain clients, because there will be a point where you're going to say, if they're wishy-washy and iffy, then they're probably not a good client for you to work with. And I'm going to get into that just in a little bit more detail. So again, partial yeses. It's not like the I'm all in, but it's the uncertain ones. So we're going to go right into one of a great quote, and Amy helped find this one, and I love it. Patience, persistence, and perspiration. Okay. I thought it was like sweating. I thought it said sweating. Okay. Patience, persistence, and perspiration makes an unbeatable combination for success. And this is from Napoleon Hill. And for those of you guys that need a little bit of Napoleon Hill in your life, this is Napoleon Hill right here. And on my friend Sean's podcast, The Quote of the Day Show, he has a lot of Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill is a guest on his show like once every other week or every 2 weeks. So he's amazing. And, I totally believe that in sales and when you're working with your clients, having a great deal of patience is extremely important. And being really persistent, aka professionally annoying, and I know we've all talked about that because that is my go-to of what people think of me, being professionally annoying at times, really will help you. And it will help you a lot with these uncertain clients. So let's get into a little bit more of the details on what can you do. So the big problem, right? We all have a big problem with uncertainty. A way to see if you're having this problem, and maybe this is just an obvious for you, is do your clients keep giving you objections? Objections, I usually call them like questions. So they're asking you unlimited questions all the time, right? And one way to really overcome this is talk to them. Go over their objections and explain how and why you can help them. I always like to say too, like dig a little bit deeper if you can. If they're totally flighty and bail on you, which happened to me yesterday, so I'll share this story. It's kind of funny. I talked to a guy last Friday. He really wanted to work with us. He seemed pretty serious, so we had a follow-up call yesterday, and then he told me he wasn't going to be home until 6 o'clock at night. And I emailed him back, and I said, unfortunately, if we don't talk today to make your decision, it'll just be like our full price. And we've found that people that make decisions really quickly also are really good students and people and good clients to work with. So we incentivize to make decisions, and I highly recommend you do that too, because you're going to see really get good results. But with this guy, like, he didn't email me back, he didn't call me, he basically just totally ignored me, which just tells me that he's not a good fit for our program. He doesn't really want to help or learn what we have to offer. And for me, I'm to the point where I can disconnect personally completely. And you know what? It's like a blessing. So for these uncertain clients of yours, if you see any signs of that, and signs of that could be like where they're just literally ignoring you, that just say thank you. Be grateful that you didn't have to deal with a pain on your butt or a pain in, I won't say that word here, but those uncertain clients, they have a commitment problem. They have a decision-making problem. And if you're not able to help them go through that problem, you've heard the saying, we can only help people that want to be helped. So I like to think of it as that I was really sad that he didn't call me back, and I knew we could totally help him. But unfortunately, he's just being dishonest with himself. And there's nothing I can do about that. And that's okay. And when you can be okay with that, it goes really, really well for you and your clients and the clients that don't end up working with you. So, and I always keep it in a positive. Like I said, thank you, thank you for making your decision. Even though I really like honesty better, I like when people just come out and say, hey, you know what, Michelle, I really like what you shared. I think you're awesome, but unfortunately, I just don't think it's going to be a really good fit right now. I want to go a different direction with my business. Hallelujah. Like, where are all the people that just tell the truth these days? You know what I mean? So that's one. If you can dig a little bit deeper, it's going to be really, really helpful for you. And also, if you hear the, I've got to talk to my spouse, or I've got to talk to my partner. That's not totally an uncertain client just yet. That just means that they're not the sole decision maker. So what I like to do is offer a joint call with the person, whoever they're referring to, spouse, significant other, whatever it may be, and how you can actually get both of them together. If you're working with someone who has a business partner where the business partner is the decision maker, make sure you're working with the decision maker. So for all the CPAs that I work with, they're all working with really, really high net worth individuals. They're all working with really high level business owners. If there's two owners in the business making a decision, you can't have a meeting without both of them. So a preventative approach to this pain for you guys is don't have a meeting without two decision makers there if there are two. Because this whole I need to ask my business partner a question or I need to ask my spouse if that's okay, it'll go away automatically because you've set the tone on how you're going to work with your clients. And if you're going to work with your clients, you need to make sure that everyone is there, correct? So that is a good way to do that. And we are going to carry along. So I would like to know from you guys, if you can put it in the comments below, what are some of those uncertainty things that you hear from your clients? What are they? Do you have any? Put them down in the comments. I want to see some of them. I'd be really curious because I know a lot of it comes up with like objections and questions. I'm not sure. So I have my little GoPro doing a different angle and it stopped. GoPro, start recording. Let's see if this works. Do you guys have a GoPro? These things are really cool, but I think I forgot. Oh, my SD card is full. Well, geez. I forgot to delete it. All right. Well, GoPro is not going to be getting a different angle for today. Okay, money, that's too expensive for me. Biggest objection ever. So if it's too expensive, oh my gosh, I have something good coming up, you guys. Oh, Scott said, I have to pray on it. I have to pray on it. You know what, you guys? I've heard I have to pray on it too. And it kind of just goes back to like, who do you want to work with? Who is that client that you really want to work with and engage with? If you want to work with people that have to pray about it and they don't know their decision now from between now and when they make their decision because they had to pray, I would question working with that person. Like seriously, I have yet to hear from someone that prays about it where they've been like, yes, I want to work with you. I just don't see how you get from wanting to pray on it overnight to actually excited to work with you. Have you, Scott? Has that like ever happened to you where you've actually got them to work with you, like, or become one of your note closers? I would be crazy. I want to know if that's ever happened. All right. The too expensive for me. Well, I'm going to get to that one a little later. Okay. So in like 5 minutes, I'm going to get to that one because I've got something that I actually heard on Sean's podcast, the Quote of the Day show. It was so good. And I think it was Jim Rohn who said, was it Jim Rohn or I don't know who it was, but I've got it in the next slide coming up. Edith said, I have the application ready. Why would I use ServiceNow? Let us pray together. Oh God. Scott said no. Yeah, I've never heard anyone that told me they want to pray about it and then they're like, yeah, I'm on board. The people that have to pray about it, you guys, that's an excuse. Like, I would ask them, if someone said they had to pray about it, I would say, do you need to pray about, like, if this is going to help you or if this is not going to help you? Like, what are you praying about? I'm just really curious. I never go and say, you know what? I pray that this is really going to work for me. It's a bullshit excuse. It really is. I agree with Scott. If you've got someone who's telling you want to pray about it, that is an uncertain client. That's someone who's living in the world of uncertainty, right? I mean, I completely agree. I don't know where my first slide went, but that is a high level, uncertain person. I used God sent me to answer your prayers. That's so funny. That's funny, Scott. Okay, let me keep moving on, okay? Just a little bit. Let me move on just a little bit. And Kevin's not here today, so I know he really wants me to. Oh, see, price was my next one. So let's say did someone ever say your product or service was too expensive? Okay, so Ganaya Official. What's your name, Ganaya? What's your real name? So price is a huge one. It's too expensive. Oh, it was Les Brown. Les Brown says, I don't charge too much. You just don't have enough money. Oh, Sarah. Okay. Hi, Sarah. Yeah. So I love this and I think you all should use it and implement it because I've actually implemented it. So Les Brown was on Sean's podcast like a week or 2 or 3 ago. I can't remember, but just Google Les Brown Quote of the Day show. And it was such a good clip. It's all about quality and how Les Brown is the most expensive speaker booked on earth. Okay. He's very high priced. And he says to people when they're like, wow, you're too expensive. He says, well, I don't charge too much. You just don't have enough money. Yeah, I totally agree, Mr. Les Brown. And I cannot wait to meet Les Brown. He is going to be on the Wednesday episodes right here, not right here, but on Success Unfiltered, the Wednesday podcast episode interviews. I am going to have Les Brown on. I'm not sure when, but he's coming on because he has I know he's been through no's and rejections like no other. So I'll keep you all posted on that. But if someone says your product is too expensive, it's really explaining your value and what makes you stand out. And again, we've talked about it before, but creating that set of boundaries, like who are you going to work with because your boundaries and your standards are here. And that when you set them right here, let's say they're at like hat level, okay? You can't go lower than hat level on your standards. The second you dip down, you lose credibility. You lose everything. Everything you stand for, your value and your worth, you're going to lose. So you want to make sure that your boundaries are set, right? Like set. Hat level, right here. Also, I highly recommend checking out our bonus episodes, episode number 8. Okay? Check it out. Show testimonials and your brag Bible and your brag book. We talked a lot about that last week. This is a huge one, you guys. If, like Les Brown says, I don't charge too much, you just don't have enough money, he is that confident that the results he's going to deliver when he does one of his speeches is so powerful and moving that he knows he can charge, let's just call it $200,000 a speech. He is the most expensive speaker there is. Well, if you're that confident in what you're able to deliver in value, then when you hear price, you know what? You're just not really a good fit. I'm so sorry. I'm sure you're going to find someone who can work really well for you. And I wish you I wish you nothing but the best of luck in your business and have a nice day. I call it the See You Later program. I send them on the See You Later program, and the See You Later program goes a little like this. It's like, I'll see you later if you see the value in my program in the future, or in my service, or in my product. And I'll give you another personal example. There were 2 people that I was going to work with, and this was last week actually, okay? These guys have a pretty successful business, almost over $1 million in revenue, but they're not making any money. And the reason they're not making any money is because they're competing on price with everything. Here, let me go to the video real quick. Okay, now I can see everybody. All right, let me start over. So I dealt with this situation last week. And it was with these 2 guys, and their business is doing a little over, almost $1 million. Really good. 3 locations. Great. However, their net bottom line, terrible. Like almost borderline embarrassing. And the reason why is because they're dealing with price competition. And they're just dealing and, wheeling and dealing. Well, CPA down the street is charging $400, so we need to match it. Or, there's this client and they were of my ethnicity and I charged them $100. Well, if I charge every single white, half Russian person a special price, I'd be like out of business. You guys can't do that just because of a cultural thing or anything else. It's the level of service that you're providing to your clients that's the most important part, right? So these guys totally had it all backwards. I knew we could really help them. Guess what they did? They were trying to negotiate pricing with me. I'm like, guys, this is not a negotiation session. This is the investment. This is what I know you'll get from it. And instead of being broke every year and not being able to make your payroll and all this other stuff when you've got a business almost doing $1 million, here's how I can help. And I stood strong. They did not stop for like 4 days. I mean, it became kind of a game because I was trying to see like what other craziness they were going to come up with. And I appreciate them for trying to negotiate, but I am not a used car lot. And excuse all the used car sales guys out there, but I got screwed on a used car about a year ago. So I'm not very happy about this car purchase. I don't want to wheel and deal. I don't wheel and deal with clients. When you go to Nordstrom, you don't wheel and deal. It's like the price on the tag is the price on the tag. You take it or you leave it. And when you can get not attached to the emotional connection, I really did want to help these guys. I was really sad when I kept seeing the price negotiations, and I called them out on it. I said, you know what, you guys? I know that there's going to be some business program out there that's going to help you. I really do. I know that you're going to find something. However, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be a good fit. And the reason why is that your exact reason your business is struggling right now is because of your price negotiation wars with even your competitors in your area. And until you can really change that, I can't help you. There's no way. Like they totally forgot all the value of the program and everything we could do to help them. They were only on price, like stuck on it. Like so stuck on it that I think they forgot everything else I told them. And I don't want that to happen to you. So if you hear that the price of your product is too expensive or whatever it may be, think twice. Do you really want to work with these people? And just think about what Les Brown says. I don't charge too much. You just don't have enough money. And then I would add, when you have enough money, give me a call. You've got my number. You know how to get in contact with me. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to service the people that value my work, value my worth, and know that I'll deliver more than anyone else is going to deliver. And again, if you need a reference and want to go listen to that clip, it is on the Quote of the Day show, Sean Croxton's Quote of the Day show. Just search Les Brown, I don't charge too much, you just don't have enough money. And God, I love that one. I think it's awesome. So here's some other signs that you might be losing a client. So if the client seems indifferent, or like we talked about a little bit earlier, maybe they want to prey on it. Maybe you're way too expensive. Maybe like me, you're getting price negotiated on and someone's trying to wheel and deal with you. There's all sorts of cues that you can hear for that. If you don't have a hard deadline from somebody, so similar to what happened to me yesterday when someone was, I had an appointment booked for, I think it was like 3 o'clock Pacific, and then they emailed me, and then they wanted to reschedule, and they said they weren't going to get done until like 4 o'clock Pacific, and I made myself available from 4 to 5. So I was flexible, and I allowed them another option, and they didn't take it. That tells me that they're not that serious and that they're going to be this indecisive type person. And you have to choose. Do you want to work with the indecisive or do you want to work with the decisive? Your choice. Another reason, if you didn't talk to the decision maker. So again, there's a lot you can do on the preventative side when you're talking and doing meetings with clients. One of them I recommend, like on the CPAs that I work with, don't work with clients that are going to only talk to you if they're driving or in a car. That happened to us a couple times, and it's not good for anybody. You're wasting your time. You're wasting their time. They can't take notes. Nothing. Not good. So again, make sure you're meeting with decision makers. If you're working with business owners, make sure if there's one owner, you have that person there. If there's two, you have two. If there's three, you have all three people there. Everyone who is in charge of making decisions needs to be at your appointments, meetings, phone calls, however you sell. If you're pitching your products into a retailer, like I did with Costco, Vitamin Shop, I was in front of decision makers only. I would cancel meetings if there weren't decision makers, okay? And if a client can't stop talking about a price, which is my example that I just gave you a few minutes ago about those two guys, they were fixed on the price, like literally sucked in on the price. They forgot everything else that we had talked about for a couple hours, and here we are. I couldn't help them. They're on their own trying to find something else. They're not going to be able to help more people, which kind of sucks because that's my passion about it, is that they could have really helped more and more people. You can't help who doesn't want to be helped. So remember that. All right. How do you guys lose clients? What are some signs that you're losing clients? And this is Coffee is for Closers, so if you've got coffee, tea, water, take a sip. How do you lose clients? Stick them in the comments below. I want to know. Or what are some signs? What are some signs that you're about to lose somebody? Anybody? Yeah, that Les Brown stuff was good, huh? Yoga Infinity, you can use that. You can use whatever I talk about here. No problemo. No problemo. All right, yeah, you guys, I'm going to learn Spanish. So I'm going to be speaking Spanish here soon. I'm going to start this week learning Spanish. I've been talking about it for like 10 years, so. All right, let's go over some ways to keep a client. So this is some really good stuff if you want to attempt to keep your clients that are the ones that you want to keep. So we went over how you might lose clients, but how can you really keep a client? Make a relationship, build that rapport with your client. FaceTime, Zoom, Skype, get video, get in person, whatever it is. Make a deadline and follow your boundaries. You know I like to talk about my boundaries, but when it comes to your sales and getting the pricing and charging your clients what you want and what you're worth, those boundaries are key, everybody. They're really, really, really important, and that they're really important that you stick to them. Also, make sure you're talking with decision makers. So if it's husband and wife, they're together. If it's two business owners, they're together. If it's co-founder, they're together. Again, we're going into the preventative approach to keep your clients that you want to work with. So they're not flighty and indecisive, right? Or the uncertain clients, the uncertainty ones. Explain the price, or like I say, investment. There might be a price to work with you, but typically it's an investment. Know your value, know your worth, and overcome their objections. An objection is just a question. An objection just sounds a lot more harsh. So what if we call them, we're just going to answer people's questions? Doesn't that sound a lot better? So again, going really deep into answering people's questions the proper way will definitely help you keep the clients that you want to keep. And lastly, remember the first quote, you have to work hard and not give up in order to close these uncertain deals. So if you want to help the uncertain people come over the wall, it's like Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall and he needed to have a great fall, but he needed to get over the other side. If you want to help these people get over the other side, they sometimes you can't give up on them, and you need to work a little extra hard. But there's also some that are just going to bail on you, and that's okay. And those ones weren't meant to be, right? So if we can remove ourselves emotionally from it and really focus on how can we work with the uncertain ones that we certainly know we can help and that they'll actually listen to us. You know, last week I met a few of the CPAs that I've worked with, and a few of them went something like this. And when you hear this is when you know you're able to help change a lot of lives. They said, Michelle, I'm really glad you gave me that little push. You believed in me. No one else believed in me, and that's the exact thing that I was needing. And it's like the smallest little things, because as business owners and as entrepreneurs, we need a little bit of a push sometimes. So keep that in mind. And if you want to help more people, helping more people equals increasing your revenue. Sometimes some of the people do need a little bit of help getting over that wall. So I'm going to leave it at that for today, everybody. Again, you can join us right here every Tuesday at 2 o'clock for Coffee is for Closers. If you want to get automated reminders so you never miss a show, just type in show in the comments below, and then you'll always have a reminder. And it was an honor to be here with you today. It was so fun interacting with everybody too. And if there's any other questions, I'm going to go over them right now. So let me look. Scott, oh my God, that's so funny. It doesn't look like there's any other questions, but if you do have questions, just put them in the comments below, and I'll just respond on Facebook and on Instagram. I don't see any more on Instagram, so no worries there. But again, you know, this is a really, let me get back to the video. Oops. Okay, so you guys can see me. So this is a really important topic, because I feel like a lot of times, and I've helped a lot of people, that they're wasting time with the uncertain clients. And we don't want to waste too much time with the uncertain ones, because sometimes the uncertain ones, you know, they need a little bit of a push, but you can't help someone that doesn't want to be helped. There's just nothing you can do about that. And when we can part ways with that sooner than later, then you can help so many more people with that's an opportunity in front of you where they need the help and they want your help and you can service them. But keep in mind, everybody's different, and treat everyone equal. You cannot what is the saying? You cannot judge a book by its cover. So treat everyone equal. Don't judge a book by its cover. Really get to the depth of it. But really keep an eye out for yourself, because really these uncertain clients, today was all about for you guys. Today was all about how do you deal with the uncertainty and how can you look out for it a little sooner so you can save yourself the time and the headaches, because you also have to value your time. And for all the CPAs that I've been working with, this is for you guys. There's a lot of clients that aren't a good fit sometimes. And it closes off the opportunities for us to work with the ones that you can serve and help even at a higher level. So you guys have an amazing week. I will see you all next week right here, 2 o'clock Pacific time. If you have a better time that you would want this at, let me know. We just picked this time, but we can always change it up. And next week, we have a special guest. So make sure to tune in right here next Tuesday, 2 o'clock on Coffee is for Closers. Have an awesome day.